But I want to start with kind of a controversial thing that happened at the weekend. Ion Cuțelaba, Ion is how I thought it was, but it's Ion Cuțelaba is how you pronounce it, taking on Magomed Ankalaev, right? You may not be familiar with these guys, but
I don't envy the job that you have, which is you have to pronounce these names correct. Like, you're not allowed to get them wrong. That sucks. Just both of those names are a nightmare. I could have 100 times to say both those names. I'm never getting them right.
Ion Cuțelaba. It's very, very easy. You mean the guy from Moldova? Hey, Alfie. Even Alfie's upset at you now. Alfie, shut up.
Yeah.
Lewis didn't mean it. Lewis is pissed off.
Alfie thought it was Ion.
He's like, do not disrespect Ion Cuțelaba. No, the one I had struggled with was Marcin Tybura. And I got the producer in my ear because I kept saying Marcin because Marcin. I said, Michael, little note, it's Marcin. I'm like, oh shit, okay, my bad. Ion Cuțelaba, super explosive dude. If you watch this guy fight, he's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun to watch fight. He's super aggressive, big, strong, scary fucking monster. And the guy that was taking on Magomed Ankalaev, I think he's from Dagestan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Certainly looks like he's from Dagestan and sounds like he's from Dagestan, but he's a fucking hell of a fighter as well. So this, on paper, had all the makings of a tremendous fight, and the one that I was really looking forward to. Outside of the main event, that was the big fight for me. And Ion Cuțelaba, if you look at this guy, anytime he's involved in a face-off, you know, when they weigh in on the scales and stuff, hold on, I'll get to that in a minute. Anytime they're on a face-off, he's always getting into his opponent's face. Always gets in there, like screams at them and stuff. Did it against Khalil Roundtree. Always does it. He's like a very, very super intense, high-octane individual. And Saturday, well, first of all, Friday did the same thing. Got into his opponent's face on the scale, screamed at the top of his voice. I was like, fucking hell. And the Dagestani, Ankalaev, didn't even flinch. Didn't even give a single reaction. It was actually perfect. That's the great way to deal with somebody that comes up and just goes, ah, in your face. And he didn't even flinch. He didn't even react. He was stone cold. So that was awesome. Anyway, Saturday night, fight started. And as we just saw that Brian roll the tape, the referee, no nonsense, Keith Peterson, I think it was, he kind of messed up there. That was the first mess up. I mean, people, if they saw the fights, they know where I'm going with this. The fight was stopped super early. But if you see there, when he was getting introduced, when Bruce was giving the shout out, he walks over and he gets right into his opponent's face. You got to remember, these guys are about to fight. And then Ankalaev just grabs him, double underhooks, and kind of throws him to the side. All hell could have broke loose at that moment. So the referee should have been there. And I'm not trying to throw him under a bus, but the referee shouldn't have allowed that to happen, you know? So that was the first kind of fuck up that happened. And I think because of that, the referee maybe was on high alert. I was like, oh shit, you know, he wanted to potentially overcompensate. Now, Keith Peterson is a fantastic referee, refereed many UFC fights. So he's got a good track record. So it's not like he's a shit referee. Go on.
It was Kevin MacDonald.
Oh, all right. Kevin MacDonald, Keith Peterson.
Kevin MacDonald's a scumbag. And you know what? I don't like who he is politically, socially.
You know what? In my mind, it was Keith Peterson. I'm like, Keith Peterson, solid referee. Okay, has a proven track record. But who was it again?
Kevin MacDonald.
Fucking Kevin MacDonald. Well, there's no surprise all hell broke loose. Kevin MacDonald has not got a proven track record. Kevin MacDonald is the scum of the earth when it comes to referees. No, I'm joking. All right, Kevin MacDonald. I don't know all their names. All I know is that when I see that guy, the one in question, Kevin MacDonald, he's a solid referee. Doesn't have a history of fucking things up. But refereeing is a tough job. It really is. Anyway, first fuck up, he let the fighters get into a little scuffle, if you will, before the fight even started. Then the fight started, lived up to the hype. Cutelaba going at him, super crazy. Ankalaev just kept throwing head kick after head kick after head kick. And it was looking like the head kicks were landing. But then when you watch it again on slow motion, the head kicks weren't landing. They were kind of landing on the forearms. They were coming close to connecting. You're going to press play or no?
But when you see him moving, here, I'll pull it up in a second, it's weird. So I think the referees was reacting to the way Chupacabra was sort of wobbling. If you see him, like he keeps on not getting hit. But I think the one punch actually really rocked him. He threw a big high kick, and then that missed, and then he came with a hook and hit him with it. And I think that actually is what rocked him, and those kicks were sort of missing. But if you look at I called him Chupacabra to be funny, by the way. If you look at Chupacabra, he was wobbling all over the place. He looked like he was out on his feet, and the commentators even said that. They said he's out on his feet. So super early is a weird way to put it, because if you sort of look at watch the way his body's moving, like look, he's wobbling, looks like he's out on his feet.
Yeah, no. By the way, I was one of those commentators, so thanks for pointing that out.
Oh yeah.
And now he's like, Mike. I don't know if you know this, but the commentators were even saying that he was out on his feet. I'm like, really? I was saying that? Pretty fucking sure I didn't say that. I did not say he's out on his feet.
Somebody did. Somebody did.
Maybe it was me. But I tell you, it doesn't matter. Here's the thing, right? And Brian, by the way, we got to talk about when you're going to play the tapes. You keep you over predict sometimes, Brian. Just a little nugget there. But anyway, he was wobbling, but he was playing rope-a-dope. Now, I didn't know that at the time, and maybe I did allude to something like that because it kind of looked like it. But when you watch it back, and fair play to the referee, because he doesn't have the benefit of slow motion. He doesn't have the benefit of instant replay. You're calling the situation as you see it at that moment in time. And Cutelaba was wobbling, or Chupacabra, whatever you want to call him. He was wobbling a little bit. But he said afterwards, he said in an interview, he knew, and he's right, if he was to try and play a technical striking game with this guy, he'd probably lose. He had to try and drag him into a brawl. So he was doing this to make his opponent think, I'm hurt, coming for the kill. And when you come into the pocket, into the fucking kill zone, I'm going to explode on you. And if you watch it again in slow motion, Brian, roll the tape, he's fine. And he's actually swinging punches when the referee jumps in to stop the fight. That's the crazy part. Watch.
Well, rewind it actually a little bit even further, because I want to show you the punch that lands. And you're right about that, because when the referee stops it, he's not out. He's like, what are you talking about? Like instant, not even like, there's not even a beat.
Look, he's totally fine. He's actually engaging with the guy. He's engaging with the guy. And to be honest, it was a little overdone. You can clearly see it was terrible acting. It was bad acting, but he was trying to draw him in to a gunfight. He was trying to draw him into a brawl.
But is it the referee's job?
Style.
Sorry to cut you off. I apologize. But to your point, though, is it the referee's job to understand that a guy's playing rope-a-dope when he actually does get hit? It's not like none of the shots hit. The kicks weren't landing flush, but the hook landed. The kicks did. A couple of them landed while he was blocking. People have been knocked out like that before. Is it the referee's job to go, oh, you know what? He's playing rope-a-dope right now. He's not actually hurt, when he's really just for a full 20 seconds, 15 seconds, he's wobbling on his feet. His hands are down. The shot that he threw was sort of kind of wild, and I don't necessarily fault the referee. I don't call that a crazy stoppage. I think it's almost like a miscalculation on Cutelaba's, how do you say the name?
Cutelaba. Have a bit of respect while you're sticking up for the referee for no reason. Listen. Cutelaba gave up 2 months of his life. Cutelaba lives in Russia or Moldova, where maybe they're the same place. He lives in Moldova. He left Moldova, flew to Thailand to do his training camp, right? And then from there, came to America. No, but you know what I mean? He's sacrificed a lot. You live in Moldova, you fly to Thailand, you come back to America, right, to take part in a fight in fucking Norfolk, Virginia against a tough guy. There's nothing wrong with doing a rope-a-dope. There's nothing wrong with playing possum. That is allowed, right? He's trying to suck him into a brawl. And those punches didn't connect. There might have been one punch that connects. You're in a fist fight. You're in a UFC fight. There's no rule that if you show any sign of being rocked or that you're injured, the fight will be stopped. I thought Anderson Silva had half my face falling off. The referee didn't stop the fight. The next fight afterwards, Felicia Spencer is on top of her opponent, elbowing her through the fucking mats. The referee, Big Dan Mergliota, let the fight go on for a while. That's what you do. These are some of the toughest guys in the fucking business. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You don't need to stop the fight. And he was throwing shots. Listen, I understand. You don't need to show that, Brian. I understand that the referee has a tough job. So I'm not talking shit about him. I'm just empathizing with Cutelaba. You know, the referee made a call. It was the wrong one, but sometimes that happens. But fuck me, I feel bad for Ion Cuțelaba because that fight hadn't even started. That was, I don't care which way you slice it, that's one of the worst stoppages we've ever seen in the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You know better than I know. I'm just saying, I feel like it's sort of a dangerous game to play rope-a-dope when you're being hit, especially for that long. It wasn't like a moment where he was like, "Oh, he's wobbled," and came back with a big shot, which we've watched that work in the past. There was a lot of rope-a-dope. There was a lot of
That's exactly what he did. He threw back, right, Brian. Play the tape again this time, right? And stop, please, Brian. I'm talking about this. I referenced Felicia Spencer for a second. All of a sudden, I'm staring at fucking 30 seconds of Megan Anderson or Felicia Spencer, whoever the fuck they were. I'm not on your case, Brian. I'm playing along. I'm being nice. Right, here we go. Didn't connect. Throws in between. He's wobbling every time he's swinging. Look.
I mean, those are big haymaker shots that aren't,
Yeah, but that's how he fights. He throws big haymakers. He's not the most technical guy. He swings. Look, every time he's swinging back. Look, hold on.
Yeah, I don't think there should ever stop a fight when I don't think there's anything as being knocked out on your feet. You're up. He's standing. He's got his hands up. He's not knocked out on his feet, obviously. So I agree with you that it's early. I wouldn't call it the worst stoppage ever. I just understand the referee's position. I think it's I put the fault on the fighter his strategy is to look like to look like you're out on your feet is not a good strategy in a fight, in my opinion. I think that it could bite you in the ass, and it did bite him in the ass.
It was the start of the fight. If that was the game plan, that was the game plan. He had incurred no damage. He had taken no particularly heavy shots. He didn't have any visible damage on his face. He was still in shape. It was the first minute of the fucking fight. And he's doing that for a second. And as soon as he was coming into range, he would swing every time. And then he would do it again. And then he'd come into range and he would fucking swing. And he did it again and swung with the left and connected. And the referee stops the fight, right? I understand what you're saying. And maybe, it's confusing. It's a confusing situation.
It's up for debate. Listen, at least.
It's not up for debate, right? You're the only fucking person I've heard say, well, shitty game plan. If that was your game plan to look hurt, that's your fault. You were the only person. The only person I've heard say that.
All right, you're in Chupacabra's corner right now. We go back in time.
Stop. Ion Cuțelaba.
You're going to say it wrong. Cutelaba.
I get it wrong.
You're in Cutelaba's corner, okay? You can go back in time. You say, hey, you know what? Let's run it back. Try it again. Same game plan. Look like you're knocked out on your feet. Have your hands down by your side. Have him keep on throwing kicks at your head. Is that what you would tell him to do again?
I would say, I want to know this referee's medical background. I want to know what gives him the fucking x-ray vision to do a fucking immediate MRI examination on his brain with his eyes. Okay. The doctor has cleared him to fight. The commission have cleared him to fight. He's in a full bill of health. If he wants to get a little wobbly, he can get fucking wobbly. He's firing back. He's intelligently defending himself. He's blocking kicks. He's blocking bad energy and throwing out good energy. Blocking, throwing. That's what he's doing. He's put his dollar in. He's riding the carousel. He's in there. He's throwing a little wobble. Then he's throwing a little shot. He'd block a little kick. He'd do his little wobble, throw a little shot. Right? Rinse and repeat. That's what he was doing. The referee is out of his goddamn mind. Grant Waterman, fucking Keith Peterson, Kevin MacDonald, whoever the fuck it was, right? Whoever it was. Love you, buddy. Thank you for your work. But you messed up on this one, and he knows it. And I'm not trying to throw him under a bus. What I'm doing is empathizing with Ion Cuțelaba, okay? By the way, Magomed Ankalaev is a fucking killer, right? He's a killer, and it would have been a great fight. So the fans were robbed of a good fight. He was stolen of a potential win bonus. Because think about it. As I said, he spent all that time away from home, 2 months away from home preparing for this fight. Forgets about his life, works his ass off, trains every day, flies over to America. He's got a loss on his record. He got the fight stopped without even really getting a chance to fight. And he loses half of his money. Do you know what I mean? It's really bad. It's really bad for him. I feel for him. I really do. If I was the UFC, I'd book that rematch straight away.
I disagree. I say Kevin MacDonald, referee of the year. I would say call of the year, referee MacDonald. Perfect stoppage. Perfect. They should show that in referee school in the future. Say, you know what? You protect that fighter. Protect the fighter. Make sure, because he could have been knocked out on his feet right there. Also, if he was knocked out on his feet, wouldn't he actually react the exact same way?
No. He wouldn't. If he was out on his feet, he would have gone, Thanks, ref. I said that wasn't going well, was it? Fuck me. I am glad you stepped in there because, yep, I was getting beat to fuck. And then we have seen it in the UFC. Some people get stopped on their feet. You've seen examples where they're up against the fence, eating shot after shot after shot and not firing back. And the referee steps in, saves them from damage. That's what the referee's there to do.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. It was a miscalculation. He messed up.
And, well, to be honest with you, it's like, you have a moment to make a split decision. And if Cutelaba would have fallen flat on his face and fucking started grabbing the referee's legs, we would have been saying that's the greatest referee in history. And what a great decision. He really saved his ass there. So we've watched that happen plenty of times as well. So it really is just like, I'm just making the point of like, it's the whole rope-a-dope sort of strategy in MMA. How often do we really see it even working? I mean, I think there's a few. I remember Paul Hands of Steel, not Paul Smith. What's his name?
No, Pete Sell versus Scott Smith.
Yes,
he faked the body shot. It was like and then when he came in, he swung. And now he was hurt though, but he was playing possum a little bit. If we weren't allowed to use tactics like the rope-a-dope, the fight community would have been robbed of one of the greatest boxing fights of all time. I mean, of course, Muhammad Ali started that. Who was it? Who did he fight? Jesus
Foreman?
Christ. Was it George Foreman? I think it was George Foreman. The Rumble in the Jungle. And same thing. Playing the rope-a-dope. Just taking shots against the fence, letting him wear himself out. Now, of course, Cutelaba wasn't doing that. He was pretending he was hurt to draw him into a fist fight, into a fury, into a brawl, and then to catch him with a hook. I think it was genius game plan. Best game plan I've ever seen, in fact. In fact, Ion Cuțelaba, even though he acts like a fucking psycho, I mean, this is what we should be talking about. How intelligent is this man? I mean, what fucking number IQ are we dealing with here? I mean, this guy's a fucking genius. That's what we should be talking about. The genius of Ion Cuțelaba. My word, it's impressive.
Yeah, we watched it bite Anderson Silva in the ass against what's his name?
Chris.
Chris Weidman. The first time he lost to him, just sort of fucking around, rope-a-dope. It's a cocky. Whenever somebody does that type of stuff, you want him to fucking.
No. They are not the same. What Anderson Silva did in that fight, correct. He deserved that. He got what was coming to him. Chris Weidman knocked him out because Anderson was being a fucking prick. Like he used to be. He disrespects his opponents, right? He was pretending to be knocked out and things like that. He was fucking about. He wasn't trying to suck him into a fist fight because he didn't have a way to win. And I'm not trying to shit on Anderson. He was disrespecting Chris Weidman. He was playing mid-fight mind games, belittling him as an opponent. That's what Anderson was doing. And that bit him in the ass. Weidman caught him with a big shot and knocked him out. And good for Chris. Cutelaba was doing something different. That was a strategic move because that was his best course to victory. It wasn't because I'm disrespecting this opponent and pretending that he's not worthy of my presence in the octagon. He's like, no, this is what I've got to do because he has an excellent kicking game, Magomed Ankalaev. Excellent kicking game, excellent striking, long-range attacks. Way more skilled fighter, better grappling and stuff like that. For Cutelaba to win, he had to lull him into a brawl. That's the difference, baby boy.
Wow. Hey, I'll give you that one. Once in a while, I'll tap out. I'll say, Bisping, you know what? You said it best.
I said it best. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Dana. Thanks, Rogan. and thank you, Lewis.